think. Let's make sure.
Go open this up. Looks like it.
Yeah.
Live.
Go ahead and share this to mine too.
Pat's the Lone Ranger. What's up, Pat?
Pat who?
Patrick Hyokum.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Pat.
Pat was another coach at Mid-Ohio.
Oh. Yeah, I need to get on that.
He had a, I don't know if he still has it or not. He had a 675 Daytona.
Oh, nice. We get 4 people. Well, maybe that's, you know.
Just
What's up, brother?
living my life, Pat. That's all. That is it.
All right, well, we're here, and audio's good this time. I figured it out. I got it now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I know what's jacked up.
My wife asked me about that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. He messed something up.
So there's a whole page of stuff in the audio on computer where it's like, oh, do you want audio to be allowed to play from Microsoft Edge? Do you want to be played from Google or Firefox? Do you want it to play from this app?
Right.
This app. Well, I had some of those turned on because I was watching GP and stuff, or the Superbike the week before, and blah blah blah, and it let it come on, and that's why that was. So now I know I can kick all that shit off, and it's good. And now I know when we do interview somebody, the same thing. That's what's happened last time is because that thing is through the browser.
Yeah.
If I had it allowed it to the volume to be there, it would get volume from the browser window, and also from the app. When it should only be just the OBS Studio that we're using. So.
Yeah, I knew you got the Razor, Pat. You probably did tell me you sold the 675. I just forgot, but
That's not a motorcycle, man. Razor's not a motorcycle.
I know he just likes to drink and ride in the woods now.
Well, that's what hillbillies do. That's it.
Sit by the fire, get drunk,
Are we going to Mid-Ohio?
cruise around.
I plan to. I actually, Mark asked me about, he's like, oh, I'd love to have you coach if you knew the track. And I mean, I want to coach bad up at Mid-Ohio. That'd be awesome. So, I might go up, I need to do at least one day anyways, or 2 days up there and, whatever. But I mean, I don't think it'll take me too long to learn the track. Getting up to, full pace, take me probably a weekend, whatever, or maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I've never ridden there. So, but,
It's fun. It's technical, but it's fun.
so maybe, maybe that'll happen.
I picked up another track bike here just on a whim last week or the week before. So, I mean,
Yes.
I do have a bike I can ride now.
I'm
Not in pieces. And
Yeah. Hopefully, we can get Jake on track this year because I've never even ridden with him on track, not even minis. So I'm excited to maybe ride with him. I could show him a thing or two here and there. I know Jake could give me a tow at Mid-Ohio for sure, since I've never been there. So that's definitely not out of the question.
Yeah, I hope to get some to ride on the track a little bit. I know I've got some plans outside the shop that are gonna take me. They're gonna take some time this summer, but hopefully between everything, I can get out and do some riding.
What's up, Mr. Craig France? Well, we get into what's going on at the shop, and since Craig popped up on here, that's one of the things I have, which not a ton of time considering how much other work I got going on, but got to do, well, right now I have 2 sets, but I have 3 to do total. The third one he's going to drop off whenever he picks the other 2 up, but I got
Body work
CJ's,
for CJ?
yeah, and gas tank and
Nice.
stuff, so have to knock that out here in the
He
next.
said he's riding 750 this year, right?
Yeah, and when Craig was out here, he was like, man, because I was telling him about, we were just talking about bikes and whatnot, and I was like, yeah, I'm just, I'm almost as fast on my 660 as I was on the RSV4. And he's like, yeah, I jumped on the 750, and he's like, just as fast as my CX10 or whatever. And I'm like, that's crazy.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, it takes a really good rider to ride these new thousands as fast as they can go, right? Like,
It's okay, Craig.
I mean, they're very difficult to ride as fast as they can go. They're
Yeah, for sure.
literal rocket ships, you know? It's
And it was
a
interesting.
lot easier to ride a lower powered, machine.
Oh, for sure. And it was interesting just talking to Craig about, like, because he helped out with Mark and stuff down at Daytona, and just talking about electronics and stuff. And I'll save it for later since we're talking shop talk, because he had some interesting things that was, and maybe I shouldn't say it was from Craig or not, but we'll delve into that later. I got I just start getting slammed with stuff now. I got a set of drag wheels. I got a set of C6 vet headers.
Oh,
Yeah, I got to Cerakote those. Derek brought me some stuff for, I can't remember what it's for, but it's like a Koso cylinder and piston and wrist pin that I'm doing, like piston coat and skirt coating. And
I wonder if that's for his Trail 125, because he was telling me he was trying to finish the build on it, but if he gave you this stuff, I don't know.
Probably. I know he said he's still waiting on a couple things, though, but
okay.
But yeah, it probably is for that, I'd assume. And then
what kind of headers are they?
I don't even know.
They got Cooks.
They might be. I mean, they all kind of look the same to me, honestly. But
as long as they're long tubes, all long tubes look very similar.
Yeah, they are.
Speed Engineering, Cooks,
they're
American Racing,
Cam Garrett's, and I don't know if I showed you Cam's. This is getting off topic, but I gotta show him anyways because
Cam's bet.
Cam, he does rapping, and he has C6, and he did. He's got the 01 hood on it and stuff, but let's see if I can find a picture of it. Does
he have a bike? Can I trade him some work?
Yeah, no, probably not going to happen. This is the color he did on it. Very sick. I'm not a blue fan, but that looks awesome.
It almost looks like the blue that GM used on the Vets.
It's just satin version of it.
Yeah, if they just didn't gloss it.
Yeah, it looks good. He did a really good job on it. I think it was silver before, I believe. But
likes to drag race.
I assume so. I don't know. He's got a couple different cars. Like he's got a couple Hondas and stuff too. But anywho's, yeah. And then what else I got? I got well, the bodywork stuff's gonna take me a little while. I got some wheel faces coming in on Thursday. I got some other stuff coming in. I can't remember. I got a list of stuff, and then besides that, which I posted up the other day, the new addition to the shop, which is the 4x8 plasma cutter, that plasma cutting table bought, which was I actually bought that in November, and I didn't have time to get it together. And finally, I just paid a maintenance guy that I used to work with because he's retired to come in and put that thing together, and it's all together. All we have to do now, he ran the 110, which I had to help with running the 110 over there, and now we just got to run the 240, and we should be firing it up either the end of this week or beginning of next week, and then I just have to learn how to use it. So
heck yeah,
which is going to be a whole nother freaking situation, But so I got that going on. What do you got going on in your shop? I know you're freaking slammed.
Yeah, I've got tune after tune after tune after build after tune after build after tune. So a bunch of the parts showed up for the 10RR build, engine build. So that'll be going together here soon. I finished. I had to install an exhaust and tune a Gen 2 Busa. And I just installed an exhaust, and I'm getting ready to tune it. Gen 3 Busa. I just finished up Gen 6 ZX10. I've got another Gen 5 ZX10.
I heard there's a pretty special bike there that you haven't got to yet, but you're gonna get to it.
I might
very, very, very special.
Might or might not.
Yeah,
get
it's
to
an
it,
Aprilia, and it's 4-valve, 50cc.
Oh, that one? Yeah, I did do that one. Actually, I wrote it today.
Well, how is it?
We did like 40.
That's
I don't-
it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just not happy.
Did it feel different from when?
Not really, no.
Did the rollers look any different?
They looked bad. Yeah, there's a lot of flat spots on them. I wonder if like that big like exhaust can or something isn't getting like plugged up or something. Actually, I pulled the airbox cover off and pulled the filter out, and I was gonna go ride it with it like that, but then I kind of ran out of time because I did it just before I came over here. I thought you were talking about Thomas's multi.
Oh, you have his?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the Desmo on it or what?
I have to, he just said 15K service, so I got to figure out
belts and valves.
what all is in there. So
I'll tell you what. I'll bet those valves are now.
yeah, well, hopefully,
But the
or hopefully they are. I don't
belts
know.
are really easy.
Yeah,
But the valves are. I mean, you've done belts on them.
yeah, and I've done Desmo, and I don't like doing Desmo.
No, the Desmo
so-
sucks. It sucks.
So I
But
really hope it's not out. Yeah,
I'd almost guarantee it won't be.
yeah,
To be honest. But
they're goofy, but yeah, he dropped that off the other day.
nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No. I was talking about my special scooter.
Yeah, the Scoot. Yeah, I rode it, but it's
That's
not
so weird. I think
it's not happening.
I think the fastest I had it ever was like maybe 55 or 50.
Wow,
But you know.
it's gotten no.
But like it just wouldn't like before you'd get on it and like before I brought it over to you. Did you ride it before?
No.
So you get on it and it would be like it would take off and then it would sometimes just get to like 15 or 20 and just be like brr, like it acted like but it was just only go 20 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So like 40, yeah, okay. That's probably a lot better, you know? But yeah, like it just randomly happened one day. I think I noticed it at Pitt because like the first weekend I was at Pitt, like I could go up that hill, no problem. And then when I had it, the next time I was at Pitt, I had my stepdad there and I was like, I'm going to go up the hill real quick. And I went up and it was like, brrr, and then it's like 15 mile an hour up the hill. And I'm like, what the, what is going on?
No, I
10,
believe
15?
that 100%. Like, I don't know if it, like, thinking about that hill, man, I don't know if it'd go up it, like, because it doesn't, it just,
Did it accelerate? Does it accelerate any faster than it did?
I mean, it's slightly more peppy, but also, like,
Because I put lighter, they were lighter rollers,
oh, okay.
but not by much.
Yeah.
I mean, by like 0.8 ounce or something.
Well, like, everything we've gained, like, 10 mile an hour, you know, like, the rollers were flat, we got new rollers, the belt was all chewed up, we got a new belt, and then the valves had no lash in them, so they are adjusted now, but it's still, yeah, just,
I'm sure it's
just
fine.
creeping.
I bet if I ride it, I'll be like, yeah, this is what it was. But like before, like I said, it would like sometimes you could like you'd be going 10 mile an hour and you'd be like, what the hell, you know, full gas, and then you could lay off of it a little bit and then get back on it, and it would go maybe 25.
Yeah.
But like, but now at least it's going 40 every time.
I mean, I just rode it down the road once,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I can't.
I'm sure
say
it's
for
fine. It doesn't need to go, 60. I'm just trying to go around the pits without going 5 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's all those things are that's fine. Maybe next time we'll put a big bore and a big cylinder and pipe. And
Dude,
probably not.
I've never even rebuilt mine, and it's the one I got that was seized up. Like, did you ever hear that one run?
No.
Yeah, so she chatters a lot on cold start, but then once,
Four-cylinder or is it a 4-stroke or 2-stroke?
yeah, it's a 4-stroke, but it's a Honda Elite 110, and so it's fuel injected and everything. And so like when it's running good, like it actually moves pretty good. Like all of the little 50cc, because Mark has like the same style scooter. I think it's the same as yours, isn't it?
No, he's got a Suzuki, and
Oh,
that's
this
the
is a
Japanese
Suzuki?
one, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
the 2-stroke. That thing's actually like gangster, and he
So that Elite is faster than his.
no way.
Yeah, dude, that Elite rips.
'Cause
But anyways,
that was only made in Japan, and he said like because when he rode for Suzuki and stuff.
I took it from Vezra.
yeah. He's like, well, I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah. No, so I got that. A guy brought it into the dealership, and it was locked up, and he said it wouldn't start. And so we're like, all right. We start checking it out, and there's no oil in it. It just completely seized up. And so we spin it backwards, get it broke loose, pour some oil in the cylinder, fill it with oil, turn it over by hand a little bit, and it was started, moving smooth. And we got it to turn on, and it would turn on. It just, rattled like crazy. So we call the guy, and you're like, this thing's smoked. We're going to need to do a rebuild, if not just like, all new, all kinds of stuff. And he's like, I don't even want it. You can just throw it in the trash. And we're like, well, we can't throw it in the trash. It's your unit. And he's like, well, you guys can have it then. And I was like, and I talked to one of the guys there, and he was kind of interested in something like that. And I was like, hey, this guy said $100, you know. And so he drove up. It was a Columbus, drove to Columbus. Guy gave him the title for it, and paid $100 for it. And then literally like the next day, a bike came into the dealership that they bought that he wanted, and I was like, oh, dude, you want to get that bike? Pfft, I'll give you $100 for your scooter right there. And so he ended up selling it to me, and so I just threw 2050 in it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, it rattles on cold start pretty good, but and you can smell it burning oil, like if you really get on it and ride it.
Who cares?
Like I drove, I went up to the keyhole, but not like on the road, not like in the grass or anything, but
Yeah.
the road that comes down the hill, the entrance road. And like when I got up to the keyhole, I was just like full gas, you know, up there, and I got up there and I could smell the oil burning and stuff, you know. And
Nice.
it really just needs a new cylinder and piston, but
You probably won't do that.
I mean, it turns on and rides, so like
Right,
who cares,
exactly.
you know? And same thing, like I'm not using it to go down the road. I'm using it to drive around pits. So
yeah. I could care less. Like, I just want it to, like, not go 5.
yeah.
So, we're good.
But it rips, dude. You'll have to ride that thing. Actually, you probably shouldn't, because then you'll be like, God, mine sucks. It's not
Yeah,
fast."
because, like, honestly, I could just get on, I forget what site it is. You can buy the whole, like, motor drivetrain. I can get, like, a 150 and throw in there. As long as
Yeah?
it's that, what, GY6?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, you know, Chinese knockoff. But if I really wanted to, I could just be like, let's just throw, like, just literally unbolt and bolt, and
Yeah.
we're good.
There you go.
But, yeah. So, let's go to anything else for your shop-wise, or...
I don't. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing special. Just like I said, some tunes, some stuff. I got another R7 dropped off. It was funny because a guy dropped an R7 off, and I'm putting an exhaust on it and tuning it, putting an intake on it. And he was asking about the power, and he's like, "Well, how do we get more?" And I was like, "Well, actually, you can get quite a bit out of these R7s. You just got to do some engine work." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like what?" You know? And he started asking me about it, and he's like, "Oh, what's something like that cost?" You know? And I gave him kind of a ballpark, and he was like, "Oh, I was thinking more like 1,500." I was like, "Yeah, not on these, because you know they're making them race bikes,
Right.
so those are going to be expensive. But you can get more power out of it if you want."
I'm sure that at some point in time, you're going to have a Gixxer 750 coming in.
Oh yeah, who's that?
What do you think?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure. No, that'll be cool to see because it's staying how it is, right?
What I would assume, but I would assume there's probably stuff that is going to come off of, like, especially the endurance stuff.
Yeah. I just meant like ECU throttle bodies.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, Mark could chime in on that or whatever, but if he's still on here, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, let's move on to racing. Let's go to Moto America for one. Let's look at that. Awesome. I mean,
Skoltzy has a ride.
yeah, that's sick. That's fantastic.
I know. I'm so happy.
The thing that blew my mind the most from Daytona was the speeds of the baggers.
So
Like, what the hell?
They were talking about. They're like, how are you guys not going to let super bikes run here, but you're going to let this thing go 185 miles an hour?
No,
Come on.
192.
Is that the fastest
Yeah,
track
it
speed?
was, I think it was like 192.
Well, I'm sure they were just
193.
generalizing, but they said 185 mile an hour.
Yeah, I mean they were far
But I'm going to tell
quicker.
you, there's no difference between hitting a wall at 185 and 192.
I wouldn't doubt that. But you got to think about that, dude. How much power are they making that they're pushing a barn door through the wind?
Yeah.
I know there's drafting,
They're
but
200
still.
horsepower engines.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's-
crazy.
I think I want to say Harley runs a 131,
131 or 132 or something
which
like
is
that.
which is over a 2-liter.
Yeah,
2 liters,
Freaking
122.
gigantic.
Yeah, so it's like a 2200 cc engine or something like that, and they're probably spinning 7,800 RPMs, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the RP. I mean, I know the Milwaukee's rev a little bit more than the old ones, but
Yeah, not on stock crank. On stock crank, you really can't go past
Yeah,
like
but
6,200.
that motor's
No, I know they're not for sure. I just mean like if you take like a twin cam and a Milwaukee 8 and you throw them on the dyno, like 6,200 is about all you're going to run on both of them. Otherwise, you're going to start running into issues. But I follow a guy. It's crazy. He's like this old retired guy, and he has like he just builds Harleys. Like that's just kind of like his hobby thing to do. And he's got like a Road King, I think, that is just kind of like his shop play bike or whatever. And it made, I mean, it made over 200 wheel, naturally aspirated. And he takes to the drag strip and runs it and stuff, but it's like his fun bike, and it's like a 200 plus wheel horsepower Road King. And the Road Kings aren't. I mean, no Harley is really like nice for going fast, but like the Road Kings, you kind of just like sit up and your hands down on the bars like that.
I mean, they're all the
and
same
just
touring chassis. It just doesn't have
flying.
fairings and shit. Yeah, they're that place out in North Carolina. I forget the name of the company, but they make some like big power baggers, 180 plus wheel horse, and the torque's just outrageous, and it's crazy. Ducati Rahal had serious issues there at Daytona, and from what I hear from someone, like, they were just freaking out about like they couldn't get the electronics stuff worked out. And a guy I know that was there was like, the dude who was like their electronics guy looked like a freaking teenager. Oh yeah, that's cool.
It says it's a 143.
Cool, yeah, it's a big boy. Yeah, it's a big boy. But they had some major issues down there. It was just wild. I mean, I was hoping for a better showing from like Hickman and those guys. But
229 wheel, 7,000 RPM.
That's crazy.
Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I was
like we talked about this the other day, like, or maybe no, I was talking to Craig about that. I'm like, why? What was the reason that Rahal Ducati did 3 pit stop thing, and Craig was like, I don't know, maybe they knew they weren't in it and they were just trying to get data.
Did they do 3 pit stops for everybody?
No,
I thought it was just for Kayla.
no, it was everybody.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
everybody. So
because I was on I thought it was for Kayla, and I was like, okay, they're gonna do her 3 pit stops because they're gonna bring her in early because they know she's not gonna win, so this is more of an experience thing for her, and they're gonna get the 2 on time for
nope,
the
they
other
did
guys,
all
but
3, and they must have just knew like, well, we're not gonna win, but we need to get the data or something. That's
yeah, maybe
kinda
that was
Craig
it then.
saying, so.
Maybe they would rather run the whole race than run half the race competitively, so they could get all the data.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was, man, Heron just crushed it. Very good job.
Heron did good. Pit stop was good.
Yeah, I mean, everything just worked out well.
Everything did pretty good. He didn't run out of gas this year.
Right. Yeah. Right. And
Posh did, didn't he? Like he made it back to the pits, but he was shaking the bike trying to get her.
God, who was the guy who was in second? Was in second, and then he ended up getting like 4th.
Oh, was it Escalante?
Yeah, Escalante. Like he's going
Richie.
down the back street, like shaking the
just-
tank, and just it ran out.
And everybody's just flying past him.
Yeah,
poor
Craig,
guy.
poor Richie. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, like congrats to Mark and Gillum and the team for doing a hell of a job. Like they basically had like a kind of a ragtag crew, really. Like Craig was doing electronics, and I mean, I think that's kind of like, I mean, legitimately like his first time in a race thing. Like he's doing it for CJ and stuff, that team, but like not really like in that aspect yet, like actual race application. And now he did for helped out with that on the Vesper bike, and he had like guys who never did shit before. You know what I mean? Like he had
He had a few of the guys from Mid Ohio there that are always with him.
Yeah, like, but they're they're not dudes that are they're versed in doing this endurance, quick change shit. You know what I mean? It was kind of like they learned on the fly and did it. And they did a really good job, which is awesome. And
yeah, I mean they weren't like on an endurance team, but they've done a lot of that stuff with Mark. Like they go with Mark to to do stuff.
So being what it was, the guys, I mean, it's fantastic. And then, man, Gillum did very well in the bagger race. He got third there, so which was kind of a lucky situation. But
the Suzuki didn't do bad in twins.
Yeah, the second day, and I guess it was who was it? I think it was Craig was telling me this. Probably this came from Craig, but was saying like the first day, like M4 Suzuki don't know shit about, or not M4 Suzuki. I'm sorry, the team that's doing stuff for Rocco is the bagger guys.
Oh,
so they were making adjustments on suspension and stuff, and going like, and Mark, I guess, was like, what are you guys doing? They're like, this is what works on baggers. He's no, it's not the same. So I guess Mark helped out a little bit with that or something, and He was explaining to me this program that Mark has, which is freaking awesome. I guess it's really expensive.
Geometry program.
Oh, dude, that
Yeah,
sounds
it's nice.
amazing. But yeah, that's so like he helped out a little bit there. They don't have experience with sport bikes.
Yeah.
So that's a huge disadvantage. So when they got somebody in there kind of knew a little something about it, well, then you can see the results.
Yeah, that geometry program is pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like he was explaining it all to me, and I'm like, dude, that's dope.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah, sounds like it's not. So, but yeah, that was fantastic, and it was fun to watch. Although Moto America app sucked, and I just saw a post today about them apologizing about it, and they're gonna fix it or whatever. But I mean, it's the same shit that happened last year, and hopefully they do fix it because you pay for this shit, and it's like it's terrible. The shit's freezing up, and pausing, and whatever, and
I think I watched it on their website. Do they have? You could sign in and watch the live.
Yeah,
on
I
the
did.
website, right?
Yeah, I did too. But the
Okay.
website was still doing the same thing. Like
Oh.
it was freezing up and doing the same bullshit it did last year. But yeah, fantastic as usual. When's the next Superbike race? It's not this weekend. It's next weekend, isn't it? It's not too far out.
I thought I just saw.
Was it? Because they were testing. I think maybe it is this weekend. I can't remember.
I thought I saw something that it was, but maybe not. Well, let's just revisit the schedule real quick
Let's
here.
revisit.
Yeah, the 22nd.
Sweet.
So yeah, both of them, GP and Superbike.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about GP. What do you think? What was our guess? I said
top 5 for Mark, didn't I?
and I said watch out for Bender, and by God
Bender did great.
did a fantastic job. Pedro was just showing his teeth. It was fantastic.
He did great. Yeah.
So that's just I mean, obviously he's got to learn tire consumption and stuff, but he was just making a statement. And I was listening to that Oxley Baum podcast, which you haven't listened to it yet, but dude, you got to, because they have so much insight in it. But everybody's comparing Pedro to Mark and stuff, and then somebody was like, "You guys are probably filthy mad." I forget, somebody posted online, like Track Day Junkies or something, like, "You guys, all you Rossi boys are probably mad that they're all just comparing him to Marquez and not Rossi." And I was like, what doesn't really matter. But Oxley Baum made a very good comment on that. Was like, he did what Rossi did when he came in. It was like 250 cc's. Like he went out and just like ran up in the front, and I think he crashed out. You know what I mean? But he made a statement like, "Okay, I'm here," and that put his name out. You know, like that legitimizing, that he's got some capability, and that's kind of what he did. And but yeah, KTM's like, for sure, like, okay, he's our boy. He's the golden boy. It's kind of like when
100%,
Honda
yeah.
did that, with Marquez, same thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's our golden boy. And
Well, that's why they're going to compare him to Mark, because he's out with Mark on the track.
right.
Like, he's not out on the track with Rossi, right? Like,
Right. And I mean, it's the most
you
current
can-
thing. Like, when Marquez came in, he was like, that was the next Rossi. You know what I mean? It was like the dude was just a different time or whatever, but he was the alien. And now you got Acosta, and everybody's like, look how he rides that bike. It's completely different. He's so comfortable, et cetera. He's making it do things that it doesn't want to do. And that's what Mark did, right? So,
yeah, it's the same thing. Like, they're, everybody's amazing, but every now and then you get one of those riders.
Yeah.
And Pedro might be it. I mean, obviously he's got some time to show that he can do that, because, winning multiple world titles, multiple GP titles, because he already he's 3 and 2. But winning GP title is not easy, right?
Right.
So, like, to win multiples and then, to push that to 5, 6, 7,
it's so
there's only a select few that'll ever do it.
I think it's so funny. We start talking about racing, and everybody peels out.
I know.
We went from like 10 to 30.
Happens
It's so
every
funny.
single time.
But this has nothing to do with the race, but I think I sent you that Ducati locked up Fermin Odeguera for.
I saw that
like,
the other day.
bro. So they're betting on like this is the next Acosta.
But where's he
Like,
going?
He'll probably go. I would probably assume he'll go to Pramac because I think they're gonna split with Jorge.
Yeah, but they usually, like, Promac's usually like the stepping stone to factory, and Grassini's usually the one that gets like the
I
the
know,
bottom
but
feeders.
You got to think about it. Like,
So
for-
is Alex going to Promac? And then
Martine already said, like,
yeah, Martine's going factory next year. It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
He's going factory next
and
year.
There's already rumor mill about Fabio or Aprilia approaching Fabio because so everyone's contracts are pretty much up. I mean, except for Pecco because he already resigned for like 2 more years. But Maverick and Aleix are both up. So, like, dude, legitimately, for both, it's the best possible thing. Because if Fabio goes to Aprilia, I think they can do something. And I think it's the closest match to the way he rode the Yamaha.
I think he would do really good on it, yeah.
What's up, Tanvir?
I think he would
Brandon?
I think he would do a lot better than Maverick.
Oh, for sure.
And the suck, like, we talk about this like every time, but like Maverick's great. He can ride. I just don't know what's wrong with him. Like, he showed over and over and over and over that he's an excellent rider. He can win races. He's fast. It's just
you put the heat on him.
He goes to like every manufacturer and tries their bike and does good and sucks.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna ride this one. I did good, but I suck.
He doesn't suck. He sucks in a race.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can put laps down all day on Friday, or...
He really hasn't been qualifying like he used to either, though. He's just kind of like...
Shut up, Tanvir. He doesn't even know what... Tanvir's Fabio's a model.
He is a model.
Well, he kind of is a model.
Not as bad as Ione was, but...
He doesn't know who he is. Let me just tell you that.
He does like his Gucci glasses and his jumpsuits and...
Well, he doesn't know who Fabio Quartararo is. He's talking about Fabio.
Oh, he doesn't...
No, yeah.
Oh,
He's
gotcha.
just being an asshole.
Oh. Well, Quartararo does do some model stuff, you know. He's always
This is true.
sporting his Gucci stuff and all that nonsense. I think Fabio would be really good at Aprilia. Hopefully they get rid of Aleix. Hopefully he just retires because
Vinales, I think, before Aleix. Let's be honest.
Well, like Aleix would do more for the bike, but I think he's just it's kind of not that you have to, but like I think he's kind of just at the end of his career and should probably just go out on a high note and not just keep dragging himself around. Isn't he like 36 or something?
Thanks,
now?
Tanvir. Dude, I don't know.
He's definitely like Zarco's pretty old too.
Yeah.
I think he's the oldest though. I think he's the oldest rider out there.
Who, Aleix?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is probably at this point.
Because like he was with Davi and Pedrosa and everybody that's left, Rossi, like
Yeah.
all these people that have packed up and left, he was riding with them.
Oh, got a phone call. Gotta hang that up. Yeah. So what? Any surprises to you?
Trying to think back. I was hoping Frankie would have done better. It wasn't like necessarily a surprise, but I did think he would do better. I wasn't really surprised at the Japanese.
He's probably still hurting, right?
Maybe.
But
He's probably a little out of shape, not riding a bike for 2 months or something like that.
Well, from his crash and stuff and whatever. But
Yeah.
Marini's
like, oh yeah, this is great, factory Honda, let's rule the world, 21st. Oh darn.
That one thing I told you about the other day about if anybody watched Moto2 was the most hilarious thing, and I don't even understand it because I don't know tires enough to like grasp this concept. But so obviously there was a lot of bad, inclement weather and stuff. So they didn't have a lot of times. And this year, Moto2 is on Pirellis. And so they really didn't know, especially race distance wise, what do they need to be, especially at a high grip track, like Qatar and stuff. And it's like, so people were kind of guessing on tire choice. So, some of the guys were out on softs and the other guys were out on mediums. And the favorite for the weekend was Canet, and he was out on mediums. Thought, okay, this is the choice to have. So, shit start. I mean, horrible start from Canet. He's on pole position, drops to 8th. 3 laps in, the dude's doing, lap record pace, gets himself up to first. Then all of a sudden, a couple laps later, the guys that were, behind him are starting to gain ground. And these are the guys who are on softs. Boom, all of a sudden, Canette's dropping back. Next thing you know, he's in like 8th or 9th again. And the guys on the mediums are just struggling. I mean, huge time struggling. And the guys on the softs are just throwing down heaters. And there was like 3 or 4 guys on the mediums that had to retire from the race before the race was over because they just had no tire left. And I don't understand it because you think the mediums are going to last longer, but they were just getting destroyed. They had no grip, whatever. So wild. I don't understand that. It'd be interesting to hear why. But yeah, like the soft Pirellis were just, putting down the laps after a few. So the mediums were good in the first few laps. And after that, the softs were just taking over and crushing. So it was just wild to see that. And I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but, it's going to be a whole different thing this year for Moto2 with the Pirellis because, different tracks and stuff and trying to figure out compounds to be on and stuff. It's going to be a wild situation. But that was I was kind of mind blown on that. It was just wicked. And Moto3 was pretty epic. I mean, as always, it's just battle. So it was a really good time there to watch. But yeah, Pecco, GP Pecco just on Sunday, it was like a different person.
Well, I mean, nobody played with him. He got out in the lead, and then everybody, Bender and Martin kept fighting with each other, and everybody knows if second and third fights, then first just pulls away by 10 seconds and wins.
And it was, I heard Martin was struggling a lot with the chatter, whatever chatter they were having. So, on spinning up the rear, and it was getting a lot of chatter on that, and that's why he was he just couldn't keep up. And then they were talking about listening to that Oxy Bomb, like I said, they were talking about Bezzecchi, like he is struggling.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Well, it's the same. He's having the same issue because they talked to him. They said, "What's the deal?" And like the bike, it's on the 23 with engine braking and the way they enter the corner. It's the same thing that happened to Enea last year.
Yeah.
And then they figured it out, 3/4 of the way through the year? And they asked him, like, have you talked to Enea? And, like, I guess they don't get along because this is kind of funny. I didn't know this, but he's from the same area.
Okay.
Of Bezzecchi and all the VR46 boys.
Yeah.
But he's the only one that didn't get into the VR46 camp.
Enea?
Yeah.
Ah.
So he was kind of like the outlier. We didn't want to have to be associated with that.
Well, there's a lot of rules with that VR46 camp too. That like there's a lot of politics in it.
Oh, probably, but he stayed out of that. So then it's kind of like by association, they're not friends, right?
Gotcha.
So he does get to see the data and stuff, but like there isn't that firsthand experience where normally that rider would just go because they're on the Ducatis.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, what did you guys do to solve this? Well, they're not going to help him. You know what I mean? Or he's not even going to ask. So hopefully he gets it figured out before.
I remember I was reading one thing about like the financials, like when you go through the VR46 Academy and stuff, you have to give back so much to fund the new VR46 riders.
I could see that. I mean, and
I don't know. It might not have been by choice. Maybe they just didn't want Enea. Maybe he was a douche or something, and they're like,
no. I guess he just really didn't want to be in that. But I mean,
he earned his own way then.
Yeah, for sure.
And not that the VR46 guys don't earn their own way, but like. They're going to a private school to learn about racing, right? Like,
well, it's not just the learning about. You're under that umbrella of Rossi, which is huge, right? I mean,
well, he's got his own team. Like, hey, I ain't got a ride. Can I join your team?
Yeah, that pulls a lot of weight, right? So, but yeah, that was interesting to kind of learn about. But
I mean, his broski is a team principal now, right? So,
yeah. Yep, exactly.
Which now, to be fair, I'm sure he is qualified, given that he's probably vested all of the years that Rossi has done it into learning and everything. He's not just hanging out with him like,
right.
Hey, bro, I'm coming to the track with you today. Like, I'm sure he does definitely earn it. But like you said, yeah, like being involved with Rossi has given him a team principal position.
Yeah, and now they're going to throw everything away and go with Yamaha, which is the dumbest thing in the world. Like, that's so stupid, but
I don't know.
I mean, Yamaha's going to have to really turn it around. So,
Dude, Fabio does not like the new bike at all.
well, I mean, I wouldn't either. You have to deal with that shit for 3 years, bro. He's probably regretting sticking with it.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, they gave it more speed, but it just has more problems now. So like,
Yeah, I just can't hook up, whatever. But
yeah,
yeah,
I could see him leaving for sure. Like, they're gonna promise him something, and he's gonna be like, "Well, that's what you said last contract, so no thanks. I'm just gonna go to something else."
yeah, and he like honestly, I'll would bet you, like, you know, really about mid-season is where you might see if Yamaha actually has something to bring to the table. But I don't know if he'll wait that long because people sign so early now.
Yeah.
It's like you better lock it down. And I mean, if I was him, Aprilia is competitive for sure. I would be jumping on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll still wait to see like what they can end up bringing because, Yamaha has won multiple championships, Honda's won multiple championships, blah blah blah. So like they are a good team, and so like they should be able to get themselves back around. So, you'd want to remain the lead factory rider on your team and not just abandon it for another one. But yeah, I'm sure if that bike doesn't get better by mid-season, then he'll just pack up and go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why would you not? Like, how long can you just stay in the back of the grid? I mean, like, so not only are you just the back of the grid and you're not, being competitive, but your name is being washed away.
Yeah, he's a world champion. He's a MotoGP world
like
champion.
No one's talking about Fabio unless it's bad because, the Yamaha's bad.
And there was a point where people were talking about Fabio, not as hyped, but pretty close to Pedro.
Oh, I mean, it was...
They were hyping him really hard.
That's the height of your hate for Fabio.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the hyping. It's just...
You don't like the hyping?
There's so many bandwagon jumpers. It's just like, oh, hey, is that guy good? I'm gonna root for him. Now, like, to be fair, I'll probably enjoy watching, Acosta, and I'll probably end up rooting for him. But like, I just don't like it when people just go, oh yeah, I love Rossi. I'm a Rossi fan. Like, oh, are you? Like, when did you start watching? Like, well, he was already retired, but like, I love him. Like, he just had such a good attitude. Like. I mean, okay.
I don't think I really have a favorite rider. Period. I just want to see good action, and if people put on a good show, that's awesome. But I mean, I like Rossi for the fact that what he brought to the sport and how much attention it brought. Because, like, again, we've talked about this several times, and Mark is getting to that point of like you can mention Rossi's name, and they have no clue about MotoGP.
Yeah.
But they know who he is. And, like, Marquez is damn near there.
Becoming world athletes. They're not just motorcycle racer. It's a known world athlete.
Yeah, and it's like you can just the colors. Rossi colors.
Oh, the neon yellow, like that is synonymous with I mean, Yamaha made color schemes with that. Like, do they think it was just a gimmick? Like, no, I'm sure they went, man, our fan base loves Rossi. Rossi runs these colors. Let's see what one of these color combos will do. Oh, people love it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you're that big of a name and that, like, it goes beyond just MotoGP. I mean, and Marquez is nearing that position. Rossi's still, I think, a bigger name as far as you can mention and not know shit about motorcycles and still understand it, but Marquez is nearing that, and there's really no one else. I mean, even the great riders, Stoner and stuff, people still wouldn't know that.
No, not at all.
It's a disassociation, but I mean, and that's why I think Rossi is so great, and not that he may have been the best rider of all time, but that he supersedes.
And he has more stuff.
Yeah,
he's not just a motorcycle racer that was like super accomplished, right? Like, he was a motorcycle racer that was super accomplished, but he also has the VR486 Academy to build up new racers. He's got the ranch that they do flat track racing on.
Now he races cars.
He races legit, like GT class cars. Yeah, he's huge. He's doing everything. So for sure, yeah. I mean, he's everybody should know his name.
Yeah,
but just like that, like, oh, he's done so much. He's so cool. I love him. Like. Okay, cool.
Well, I just think he's super.
Like,
He's just extremely important to the sport.
yeah, very
You know what I
much
mean?
so. Very much so.
And
But like, if you can't name 4 different GP riders and Rossi's your favorite, then like, fuck off. You know,
well,
like,
okay, I mean, but you're talking about kind of like the same thing with like you could go into it with football or baseball or
no,
basketball.
100%.
Like,
Those are those are the bandwagon
Yeah.
people for sure. Yeah, the guys are. Oh, LeBron's the goat. You know, like,
Yeah.
well, can you name any others? Or
Yeah.
like, same thing. Or whoever's the winningest football team. Like, oh, I love the Chiefs now. Or like, there's just so many bandwagon people because they want to root for the winning team. Nobody wants to root for the underdog and
I
watch their
like,
team lose.
I want like soon as Digi, that made me happy. It warmed my heart to see that.
Yeah.
What's up, Connor? And hopefully,
LeBron blows. I mean, I don't watch basketball, but
Yeah,
I mean,
neither do I.
LeBron's the same as other world icons. Like, everybody knows him because he is a world athlete. Like, be it that he's good, bad, it's indifferent. Like, he has accolades that put him above most people.
Right.
I'm sure there's some that you'd argue with it, but
he is kind
he's
of
just a
turd
world
anyways.
athlete that knows.
He's a turd, anyways. Though, at least Rossi's funny. But
Rossi's got to that point though, like he was just like a dick his last couple years.
yeah, he was
Like in the paddock,
Yeah,
like
I
he just
mean,
didn't care. He's just
for
like,
sure.
I own this. I can do whatever I want. Screw you guys.
Yeah. So let's see what else. Testing. It looks like for Superbike, looks like Ray is semi happy.
I'm not even gonna hold anything to it because he was happy with the first test, and then they went to Phillip Island, and everything that happened in the first test just apparently went down the drain, and there was nothing, and he did absolutely nothing. So
Well, hopefully
I'm not gonna hold like. Hopefully, Top Rack's engine stays together. That's all I'm hoping
I was just
for.
gonna say that. And Bulliga put down lap record at testing there, and he's gonna be a threat, man. I
wonder what happened to him in race 2.
I don't know. I don't know if it was tire or what, but I would like to see him. Like if it comes down to Ducatis, I want him to just whoop Bautista.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
But Lowe's, I'm rooting for Lowe's. I don't like Kawasaki or anything, but man, like that's just
But
awesome.
the way he's riding makes you want to root
Dude,
for him.
100%, because the guys do in the first place, and not only he's put a lot of time in, he's due for it, but the other thing is like
He's put a lot of time.
yeah, and
in,
it's always kind of fell short, and now he's up against Goliaths.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like to come in there and do that job.
And if he wins on a Kawasaki, you know how mad Ray's gonna be.
He'll be pissed.
Like, what did I do?
Which makes it sweeter. You know what I mean? So
Which Ray's kind of the same as Rossi. Like, you've done everything you need to do. You don't need to prove anything else. Like, if you want to go race for fun, because you still can, so be it. But like, you got six Superbike titles, man. So be it. Like,
are we going to Moto America? Moto America, what? There's several races, but if you're talking about like Mid Ohio, yeah, I mean, I know Jake is probably going to go, and I'm going to try to go. It just depends on schedule and stuff, but yeah, I plan to head up for that.
but yeah, I mean, Ray is the Rossi of
Mid-Ohio,
World
yep.
Superbike.
Yeah, for sure.
He dominated. Well, that Cowie dominated for a while because Tom Sykes won on the Cowie before Ray did.
I was talking to Craig because I thought that like before they were going to run, Moto America was going to run when GP ran at Coda, but it's only baggers. It's only baggers running with GP.
Do they have a different Coda day for the Superbikes, or the Superbikes just not racing Coda?
No, they are. It's just a different day. It's a whole different day.
Well, that just
Yeah.
seems weird.
And I don't know if they're just trying to get more exposure to the bagger series and whatever, but like that's probably the wrong crowd to bring that into. But I don't know. Although I will say that any of these guys from overseas that come over ride the baggers love it.
I'm sure it's crazy fun, but like, it's
What's up,
probably
Chris?
a lot of fun, just not quite like a Superbike. Like
no, they're 192 mile an hour.
they want right, but like like lap times. But I'm sure people want to ride them because it's fun. But like everybody that races bikes, I would imagine, want to race at the highest tier. They want to be the Superbike rider.
I'll tell you what, man. I would like to see the salary for Factory Harley, Factory Indian to attack. Because I'm serious. I would bet.
I would bet they get paid more too. Yeah. Now final at the end of the year, maybe not because they get all that Yamaha contingency money.
I'm just saying.
But like pure salary, yeah, I'm sure Factory Harley pays quite a bit of money. Because at the end of the day, it is Factory Harley. There is no Factory Yamaha.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Same thing.
It looks like it,
Factory Indian,
but it's really just attack with some backing, you
right?
know? And some special fuel.
Yeah. I showed you that person had that shirt on.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Yeah. So anything else you got? About summed up GP and going into looking forward to Superbike and GP this weekend?
I made our fantasy, by the way.
Good. Gonna whoop you this year. Again.
Maybe. I mean, you probably will, but I'll still.
Because you're just gonna pick Marquez.
I do have Marquez.
Both.
I do. No, I don't think I have both. Actually, I don't think I could afford it because I have Grassini team, and I obviously have Mark. I don't even know where the GP app is to see my team. I got nothing for you.
Well, you have to send me a link so I can.
Oh yeah, I have to invite you to it, don't I? Maybe I didn't download it on this phone. I think I got this in the off season, so
We'll figure it out. Anything else? Anybody got questions or concerns or anything before we take off here? Actually, I'll get some work to finish up tonight, so just probably this hour or whatever. But if anybody got any questions before we take off, shout them out, man. We'll answer them. Take care of you now. If not, then we're going to be closing this out here in the next couple minutes. Unless you got anything else there, Jake.
just my team. That's all.
Just your team.
I'm just trying to find my team.
What's it say? One day, something you have to do.
Yeah, when they start practice.
All good, Connor. Thanks for joining when you did, man. We appreciate it.
Okay, so on my team, my gold riders are Mark and Anea. My silver riders are Pedro and Augusta.
Jesus, you got, you're stacked.
Well, Augusta didn't really do shit, so.
The end of last year he did.
Yeah, he did a little bit, yeah.
And then you got Grassini and Ducati.
And then I
Good
have
Lord.
Constructors, Ducati, Grassini is the team, yeah.
All good, David. Thanks for joining us when you did.
I'm hoping Anea makes a comeback and he starts pounding, Hopefully Mark will get me more points than last year when he just
Are you
never
going to keep
raced.
your team? You're going to be sloshing around a lot of stuff.
Well, I feel like I got to move it around with you, but I don't know.
I left mine alone for a while.
I left mine
year.
alone while Mark wasn't even in the races.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I got Mark on my team. Like, what's he doing? Like, oh, he's in Minnesota getting arm surgery. Yeah, we'll see how many points I get for that.
Yeah, and then you had Vinales for a while, and he was shit in the bed.
Man. There was like one race where it was like pick the Aprilia guys, and I did it, and then I'm like, it's like looking at crypto, like, oh, I better buy some crypto. Oh, I bought it when it was high.
Yeah,
I crashed.
I had
Darn it.
Aleix during that race. I remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, really,
You had-
fucking serious? Come on.
Well, for the longest time, you had Bezzecchi and Pecco, and so it was just like 25 points, 20 points, 25 points, 20 points, so on, so on, so on.
Chris said his is gold is Marquez and Martin silver. He says baby Jesus and the Beast.
Gold is Marquez and Martin. Silver is Baby Jeebus and the Beast. Who's Baby G? Oh, probably Pedro.
He didn't say.
I'm assuming that's Baby
but
Jeebus.
no, Anea Bastianini.
That's the Beast, but who's Baby Jesus?
Oh, got to be Pedro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we're close, but I couldn't afford Martin, so I've got poor Augusto. Hoping he will he'll do something for me. I would have got good points for Team Grassini last week though, or whenever it was.
You should have set it up before, man.
I know. I tried setting it up like while they were doing qualifying, and I was like, "This isn't gonna get work, is it?" Like, nah, it's locked down. I'm like, of course.
Well, shit, man.
Gee,
Yeah, that's all I
Martin's
got.
expensive.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's right under Pecco. Hey, Bender's cheap. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not cheap, but like
Yeah,
he's a lot cheaper than them.
he's just a flight risk.
Not as much as old Jack down here.
Well, yeah, I don't. Who's picking Jack now?
I wonder if I can, dude. Augusto's cheaper than Taka. How's that?
Because Taka finishes every race.
Because Taka will fit. I got 100K left. I could get Taka instead of Augusto. Maybe we should trade him.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us the time you did. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll be, again, talking about some shop talk, things out, see how things are going. I don't know. Did you talk to, what's her name? See when we're going to get her on?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay.
I'll talk to her later this week.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get her on maybe next week, and then we'll be talking about some Superbike and GP and whatnot. And, yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So, thank you again, and we will see you again. And, yeah, I just keep repeating the same shit over and over. All right,
ya.
guys, we'll see you.